Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Brettcast Gaming Talk. Yes, I have done this similar sort of thing in the past where I looked at 1-star Amazon reviews for Gunpla as well as Transformers figures, but this time around I'm going to be doing it for video games. I have selected 10 of my favorite video games and I'm going to be looking at 1-star Amazon reviews for each game. I will keep any names out of there for the sake of the person who wrote the review, and I'm going to leave out things specific to if there is an issue specific to it being an Xbox or a PlayStation version or whatever, because I'm just trying to look for reviews specific to the actual game and how it plays. And with that, let's get started. The first review I'm going to be looking at is going to be for Portal 2. The review reads, Portal 2. Well, about 2 weeks ago, before I'd even heard of Portal 2, my 5-year-old son, the YouTube expert, had saw a video on Portal 2. The next thing I know, it's all he seems capable of talking about. I guess at that point where he began... I guess it's at that point where he began his campaign to get me to buy the game he so desired. He's very persuasive. In addition to that, I love him to death. Needless to say, after that, I was searching Amazon with credit card in hand. Now, let's fast forward a week. The game arrives, we rip it open, we fling it in the PS3 like a frisbee, and the gameplay begins, and it took me all of about 30 minutes to find out that this game is boring. But he loves it. Okay, first I have to say that I love how unnecessarily extra this review has to be. They go into such detail about how much this person's kid convinced them to buy the game. All joking aside though, I honestly don't understand why this person thinks the information is important to the review. This review could have been a single sentence about how they think the game is boring, but their kid loves it. Also, I don't understand how this is grounds for a 1-star review when you don't personally like it, but the kid who you bought the game for absolutely loves the game. I don't get that at all, honestly. The second review is going to be for Battlefield 3. The review reads, I can't believe they are still making these terrible arcade-like games. You must follow a pre-written path or you die. You can't do anything off the path or you die. The hand-to-hand combat is a joke. You'll have trouble with the pre-arranged melee scenarios, supposed to be simple, push button, kill enemy. However, the game doesn't like to play by the rules, which means you are stuck. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Did I say terrible? Buy Donkey Kong or Solitaire. That's at least fun. Or just put your head in a metal barrel and bang the outside with a hammer. Another thing, you're going to need a lot of hard drive space for the updates. Both just to get started and for the multiplayer. About 4 gigabytes? In fact, it is so horrible, I'm just throwing mine in the trash. I should have just burnt $64 and saved myself a lot of aggravation. Man, I do love myself a rage-filled review like this. Yeah, it is that kind of FPS game that, you go down where the game is going to lead you down. It's not an open world game. I don't understand why this person thinks it was going to be something like that. It's honestly an extremely simple game that I think this person is just very bad at the game. Even the thing about the updates, yeah, that's what games do, even in current year. The third review is going to be for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. The review reads, this game is awesome. At first it sucks because you think it's going to play like Modern Warfare 2, but surprisingly it doesn't. I ended up dying a lot in the beginning, but after I learned the differences, I'm no longer raging. I only gave it 4 stars because the maps are mediocre. It just seems like they put maps together without giving them any thought, and the consequence is that it's extremely difficult to cover your 6. They literally come out of nowhere. The campaign was amazing in that I played it on veteran difficulty right off the bat and found it not easy, but nowhere near as hard as I thought it would be. I only had trouble in the mission Dust to Dust. I was looking forward to Spec Ops, but because you can only play with yourself and one other, it makes it lame, as it should have been 4. I use it mainly to work on my aim and learn the mediocre maps. All in all, peace out, Black Ops. I have to admit that actually is a very decent and honest sounding review of the game, though I feel like their whole expecting it to be like Modern Warfare 2 thing is just kind of weird. I don't know. I played Modern Warfare 3 right after Modern Warfare 2 before, and the gameplay feels pretty much the same to me, but maybe that's just me. Though I do disagree personally with the Spec Ops being lame, but that's because I've spent a lot of time with it on my own. Again, that's just me. Though I do agree you should be able to have 4 players in Spec Ops. But what's really odd is that they said at the beginning the game is awesome. They said the campaign was awesome, and they also said that's why I'm only giving it 4 stars. So I just am curious between when this review was posted and now how it's made it from 4 stars down to the 1-star pile. I don't get that. The 4th review is going to be for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard. The review reads, "If I could do less than 1 star, I would. First game I've ever found so boring and nothing like the other Resident Evil games I've played. I've tried to pass it to my nephew, but found it back on my Xbox. Tried to give it to my son, but it's back again on my Xbox. I ask them why, and they say I can keep it because it's boring. But Christmas is coming, so I'm going to try to pass it to someone again." Okay, let me just say right off the bat, if you constantly have to keep using numbers in place of words, like 2, you need to go back to elementary school. You are replacing a word that literally consists of 2 letters, and you're replacing it with a single number. Like, how fucking lazy is this person? Plus, the complete lack of punctuation makes this review so hard to read and process. Not only that, but to edit it into a format where I can understand it and read it back in my script for this video. Now, I disagree though with the game being boring, but I'm glad that this game is different from previous Resident Evil games. Like, have you tried to play Resident Evil 6 after playing something like Biohazard? I couldn't do it. Resident Evil 6 is fucking awful. Also, I do love how they add about how they keep trying to give the game to other people with no avail, because, that's totally important to a review. The 5th review is going to be for Animal Crossing New Horizons. The review reads, "I don't like this game because of the excessive dialogue and slow pace. My kid seems to like it. However, I'm writing the review, not them. Also, the fact that you have to share an island with all Nintendo accounts is really lame. I just have to wonder, what exactly were they expecting from this game? The point of it, is you walk around, talk to your island people, you build your island, you do activities like fossil hunting, fishing, bug catching, planting flowers, and so on. It's meant to be a very casual and relaxing game, so I just do not understand what this person was expecting out of this game. Also, I love how they add that line that their kid loves the game, but that doesn't matter because that kid is not writing this review. I don't really have anything to say though on the 1 island per account thing. I'm pretty sure that's still how it is. But it doesn't bother me. I'm the only one that uses my Switch, so I don't know what to say there. The 6th review is going to be for Transformers Rise of the Darkspark. The review reads, "Horrible graphics, glitches, and pixelates." I don't know, that is not a real word. "Reminds me of an original Xbox generic game. I am extremely disappointed since I am a huge Transformers fan." Yeah, I mean, Rise of the Darkspark is like the one Transformers, of the newer games that aren't, I can't even say that. It's hotly contested for fans. I personally like the game. A lot of people don't. Yeah, it could have been a true sequel to Fall of Cybertron had Hasbro not wanted them to tie it in with Age of Extinction movie, but I don't think it's a bad game, but that's just me. And I don't know what Pixelates is. I think this person just pulled something out of their ass there that completely makes no sense at all. The 7th review is going to be for Kirby's Epic Yarn. The review reads, I must confess I have never played a Kirby game before, so I purchased this based on some of the reviews I have read. Now I wish I had not bought it. This is one of the most repetitive and boring games I have ever played. Every single section is exactly the same. At first, I thought it might be kind of fun, but so much of it has either been too simplistic or has been so difficult as to be ridiculous. I may manage to finish the entire game, but I will not bother trying to go back to get things I missed the first time, though, because the action went way too fast to get everything, and there is no going back. I will most likely be trading this one in. Typically, yeah, Kirby games are designed to be very easy and simple in comparison to other platformer games, at least in my experience. I prefer Kirby games and Yoshi games to something like Mario. I think Mario is much more difficult, personally. Though I don't remember any section of the game being as difficult as this person says that it would be ridiculous. And trust me, I've played both the Wii versions, because that's what my YouTube playthrough was, and I've also played the 3DS version, which was the first time I played the game. And yes, it is a simplistic game, and I like that. That's part of the appeal of Kirby games, if you ask me, but you know, again, to each their own. The 8th review is going to be for The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass. The review reads, I have been a huge Zelda fan since Ocarina of Time. I have played it on various Game Boys, Nintendo 64, and Wii, and have loved every minute of every one I've played, minus Majora's Mask. I picked this up not even considering that I may be disappointed. The stylus is tedious and takes the action out of the game. It would be much simpler to play the game with buttons, and I don't feel like the stylus adds any bit of fun to the game, but takes away a lot. I ended up giving it to my girlfriend, who ended up really liking the game. It was her first Zelda game. This is not for everyone. You know, I pretty much do agree with this review. I played the game on an emulator, sure, but that doesn't mean any less of this is true. It is extremely tedious to have to do literally everything with the touchscreen, even movement. Yes, I know that it was a launch title for the Nintendo DS back in the day, and that, you know, Nintendo wanted game developers to make use of the touchscreen, because that was the whole frickin' point of the Nintendo DS. But the game would have just been much easier with normal controls for everything. The 9th review is going to be for Half-Life. The review reads, quite possibly the worst game I have played in my entire life. I think Oregon Trail was better. To start out, the graphics look like about 64 colored blocks on your screen. The weapons and enemies suck, as well as the gameplay. There's almost no action. It's not difficult, the controls are horrible, and it's easy. I will never buy another Sierra game in my life. The game cost me $40 and was not even worth a quarter. Do not buy this game. You will be very disappointed, and this goes for other versions of Half-Life as well. Now, this is absolutely rich, as I love seeing bad reviews for a game that is as celebrated as Half-Life. But, as celebrated as it may be, I can respect that not everyone will like it. Personally, I would disagree with everything in this review, but that's just me. I do, however, think that $40 for Half-Life is way too much, but that's what you get when you buy it through Amazon. The 10th and final review is going to be for Dead Island. The review reads, I love sandbox type games, but this game makes it impossible to do anything. The zombies are superhuman. They sprint at you, and then you hit them with whatever weapon you have, and the weapon breaks. The super zombies, you have to chop off their arms in order to kill them. Maybe for you, but not for me. The graphics rock, though. I feel like this is a case where the person didn't really take the time to actually figure out how to play the game. The zombies are definitely not superhuman. They are, in fact, very easy to kill. Even the super zombies, as they name them, are not difficult to kill. And no, you don't have to chop their arms off first before you kill them. You can, but you don't have to. Maybe this person was playing on a higher difficulty, but nothing in Dead Island is impossible to do. I have played through Dead Island twice, and I am the kind of person that I give up on a game if it's too hard pretty quickly. So no, this game isn't impossible. I feel like this person just wasn't very good at it. There we go. Some interesting 1-star Amazon reviews for 10 of my personal favorite games. That's all I have, so if you like what you see in here, feel free to subscribe. If you want to add to the conversation, leave a comment below. As always, thanks for listening, and goodbye.